Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Quantum on the Treadmill. Like always, these are questions I ask AI as I try to learn the mysteries of quantum. I hope you enjoy this episode. Thanks again. I'm John Willis, also known as Galupe. Before Werner Heisenberg changed physics, his father helped preserve the Odyssey. When most people hear the name Heisenberg, they think of uncertainty, quantum mechanics, and one of the greatest physicists of the 20th century. Few realize that before Werner Heisenberg revolutionized our understanding of nature, he grew up in a household devoted to an entirely different pursuit, preserving ancient knowledge. His father, August Heisenberg, 1869 to 1930, was one of Germany's foremost Byzantine philologists. At first glance, that seems worlds away from quantum physics. But it raises an intriguing question. What exactly is Byzantine philology, and what does it have to do with Homer's The Odyssey, or even Christopher Nolan's upcoming film adaptation? And the answer is quite a lot. What is Byzantine philology? Philology is a historical study of language through text. It combines linguistics, literature, history, and textual criticism to answer a deceptively simple question. What did the original author actually write, and what did those words mean? For centuries, books were copied entirely by hand. Every copy introduced the possibility of mistakes, a skipped line, a misspelled word, an explanatory note accidentally copied into the text, or even a deliberate alteration. Philologists compared dozens, sometimes hundreds, of surviving manuscripts, searching for clues that reveal the earliest attainable version of a work. A Byzantine philologist specializes in the manuscripts produced during the Byzantine Empire, roughly from AD 330 to 1453. These scholars study medieval Greek, analyze ancient texts, and reconstruct works that survived only because generations of Byzantine scribes carefully copied them by hand. The long journey of the Odyssey. Homer's Odyssey was likely composed in the 8th century BC, long before printing presses existed. For centuries, it lived primarily as an oral tradition before being written down. But the text we read today is the result of an extraordinary chain of preservation. As the Western Roman Empire declined, the Byzantine Empire became the principal guardian of Greek learning. Monasteries and scholars painstakingly copied the works of Homer, Plato, Aristotle, Sophocles, and countless others. Without these Byzantine manuscripts, much of classical Greek literature, including the Odyssey, might simply have disappeared. Every modern translation, whether by Richmond Lattimore, Robert Fagles, Emily Wilson, or another translator, ultimately depends upon this manuscript tradition. Even a 21st century film adaptation traces its lineage through those handwritten copies, more than scribes. The Byzantine scholars were not merely copyists. They added notes in the margins known as scholia, debated difficult passages, compared conflicting versions, and attempted to distinguish genuine readings from centuries of copying errors. In many ways, they practiced a form of historical detective work. Every manuscript became a piece of evidence. Every discrepancy became a clue. Their goal was not simply to preserve the past, but to reconstruct it as faithfully as possible. Growing up in the Heisenberg household, this was the intellectual world in which Werner Heisenberg was raised. His father spent his career examining ancient Greek manuscripts, comparing evidence, questioning assumptions, and reconstructing original meanings from incomplete information. Of course, there is no evidence that Byzantine philology directly inspired quantum mechanics, but it is difficult to imagine that such an environment failed to shape the habits of mind of a young scientist. Careful observation of precision, patience, a willingness to accept uncertainty while searching for deeper structure. These qualities are as valuable in physics as they are in philology. Two different searches for truth. The more one reflects on it, the stronger the analogy becomes. A Byzantine philologist never possesses Homer's original manuscript. Instead, they examine many imperfect copies and infer what the original most likely contained. A quantum physicist faces a remarkably similar challenge. No one observes the quantum world directly. Instead, physicists measure experiments, analyze probabilities, compare competing explanations, and infer the underlying reality from indirect evidence. Neither discipline works from perfect information. Both depend on careful reasoning. Both require extraordinary skepticism. Both attempt to reconstruct something that cannot be directly seen. From Homer to Heisenberg, There is a beautiful symmetry in this story. One generation of the Heisenberg family dedicated itself to preserving humanity's oldest intellectual treasures. The next transformed humanity's understanding of the physical universe. One studied ancient texts, the other studied nature itself. Both searched for hidden truths concealed beneath incomplete evidence. So, when audiences watch the latest cinematic retelling of the Odyssey, they are witnessing more than an ancient Greek adventure. They are seeing the culmination of nearly 3,000 years of cultural preservation, a chain that stretches from Homer through Byzantine monasteries and generations of philologists like August Heisenberg, all the way to the present day. It's a reminder that every great discovery depends on those who preserve knowledge as much as those who create it. Without the Byzantine philologists, we might never have known Odysseus. Without Werner Heisenberg, we would understand the universe in profoundly different ways. Both father and son, in their own ways, spent their lives searching for what lies beneath the surface.